Good evening. Well, tonight we put the clocks back, and that means an extra hour in bed, so we can well afford, I think, to stay up to watch tonight's football action. And on a day when the crowds are on the up and up, it'll be worthwhile, I assure you, to join, for a start, the 57,000 fans at Old Trafford for Manchester United against Manchester City, and that's one of the best derby games for years. The goals from Stoke against Liverpool, and then some thoroughly entertaining stuff as Chelsea face Charlton Athletic. And we should be talking to Alan Simonson about the latest in that amazing transfer tangle, and hear from the Charlton chairman as well. And we should pick up the rest of the news from Jim Rosenthal.
Tonight, British football welcomes back one of the game's most flamboyant characters. Malcolm Allison, the new Middlesbrough manager, who takes over on Monday, but already, as you can see, the Ayresome Park fans are eating out of his hand. Also, the reason why London managers John Lyall and Terry Venables are very angry men tonight. And there's a setback for Fulham as they go top of the second division.
But first, it's Manchester United against Manchester City. There's been a week of speculation, but now the words are over and it's time for the action. And what spectacular action it turned out to be for the biggest crowd of the season at Old Trafford, where the pictures come from Granada Television. Let's join our commentator, Martin Tyler.
Ron Atkinson is at last able to field the Manchester United side, which began the season so impressively, 12 goals in the opening 5 games. But it's the first time this 11 have played together for 6 weeks. Arnold Muren has been the missing link, now back after an 8-game absence, and the Dutchman brings a cosmopolitan flavour to this parochial occasion. Oddly, Joe Corrigan, the Manchester City goalkeeper, is one of only 2 native Mancunians starting the match. And City skipper Paul Power is the other, in a fixture that traditionally means that much more to the locally born players. John Bond kept his City formation under wraps until shortly before the kick-off. Kevin Bond and Bobby McDonald are recalled in defence, and Graham Baker has recovered from an ankle injury to return in midfield. But there's no place for the Norwegian Åge Hareide, who so successfully marked Brian Robson in this fixture last season. Manchester United then kick off on an afternoon when the rains have stayed away from Manchester. And here's Ray Wilkins. Manchester City, who've won only one of their last 6 games. United beaten only once in the first division this season, and of course starting this match at the top of the table. Kevin Moran wearing 5, and the player who slipped was Mike Duxbury. In charge of the 105th Manchester derby is David Richardson from Great Harwood. Moran. Muren coming to take over. A phlegmatic character. It's an afternoon where the cooler head may come out on top. Always such a frantic start to these games. Norman Whiteside and Tommy Caton, the 2 teenagers. Hartford back covering. It's Whiteside again. Corrigan dropping to his left. A promising start to Whiteside's first derby. Hartford. Clearing space for City is Kevin Bond, who slipped at the vital moment. It's got to Ransom by a different route. And now Power. An in-swinger from Power, who couldn't bypass Stapleton. Brought back for just that eventuality. Reeves. And Bailey was unsure for a second. Drifted a little close for comfort. Ray Wilkins. Whiteside trying to hold off Caton. It broke for McDonald. No time to settle in possession. Power on the receiving end. Challenge between the 2 captains. Dropped off Orbiston. Kindly for Ransom. Ransom's ambition brings City a corner. Bond arriving again to join Reeves. Stapleton back, alert. Orbiston on the post. Reeves. Goal! Stewart! First blood for City from their well-practiced near-post corner. Touched on by Reeves and Dennis Stewart right on the line. Dennis Stewart, who actually played his first game for Manchester City in his first spell with the club against United. And here's Hartford. Certainly the goal coming as a result of City having the greater share of possession in the early exchanges. But here goes Koppel. 2 for United against 3 defenders. And Bond missed it, and so too did Whiteside. Robson. City still haven't got the danger away. Cross callback, but Kevin Pond getting away with a miskick right in front of his own goal as Steve Koppel drove the ball across low, and it took Whiteside by surprise as well. Stewart again. Hartford harassed and then beaten by Muren. Robson, space here for Koppel. Against the bar, Corrigan might have got a touch. This is Robson, and it was deflected off Bond. But Robson had handled. But it was Steve Koppel realising the possibilities here. Off the underside of the bar and out. And Robson handled as he followed in. Whiteside. Stapleton tangling with Bond. And in the end, Bond crashes to the ground, colliding with Ranson. And they've certainly lived dangerously in the latter stages of this first half. McDonald. Orbiston. And Caton lost it. Robson, and now Stapleton. Another chance goes away for Manchester United. Robson, a little pass that Stapleton had time to control. The end of the first half, mounting United pressure towards the end of it. Steve Koppel striking the bar, but the one goal in the first half has come for Manchester City. City go into the second half then leading through Dennis Stewart's goal. It's more than 8 years since they last won here, on a famous occasion when Dennis Law backheeled Manchester United into the second division. Orbiston. Ryan Robson, who spent so much time forward in the first half. McQueen. Always the crowd enjoying any little touch from McQueen on the ground. And here goes Whiteside, who got behind Caton. Had to hit it as he was tackled. City caught a little square then. Joe Corrigan must present such a formidable frame to an advancing forward. Robson just flicked it on, then Stapleton, Robson again. And here's Koppel. McDonald slipping at the vital moment. Caton just skimmed off his head, enough to change the path of the ball. Only Reeves and cross forward for City. Reeves here against McQueen. Baker joining in. Stewart's arrived now. Cross! Clean as a whistle. Reeves doing the spade work. Then Baker. Baker and look for Cross on the near post.
2 minutes and 29 seconds in the second half. The score of David Cross.
David Cross in his first Manchester derby. It's his 6th goal for City. Coming 3 minutes into the second half. What a task now ahead of the home side. United, who came into this game 7 league games unbeaten. Moments to savour for those wearing light blue. And they've left Stapleton. The ball just curving a little behind him. From Wilkins' free kick. He was unchallenged as he made the header, Frank Stapleton. He broke off Baker for Robson, and now Whiteside, and now Stapleton. Corrigan performs miracles again. Seemed then that Stapleton had done everything right, catching the goalkeeper as he came off his line. That's such agility from the big Manchester City goalkeeper. Duxbury for Whiteside, now Robson and Stapleton, Alveston. Certainly on chances created. This game is still not beyond Manchester United. Stapleton. Oh! When improvisation and inspiration was needed, it came from a player who's been going through such a bad time. He looked this way and that, and finally opted for a really ambitious chip, having turned Caton here, and it curled over Corrigan. 9 minutes into the second half, it's 2-1. And now United do have something to bite on. And Frank Stapleton must feel like a ton of bricks have been taken off his shoulders. Quality in the end showing through. He's had to wait a long time. And they've been patient with him. Whiteside. It was Baker covering. And he needed to, because Robson was there behind him. Half an hour remaining. Wilkins with the corner. McQueen causing the problems. Corrigan dealt with them. Here's Koppel. Blocked by Hartford. Goes back to guard the near post. Muren looking to bend it in towards that direction. Robson coming deep. Bond and Moran. It ends as a goal kick. Brian Robson coming in late. Corrigan was committed. Moran had a swing at it, and then Koppel. Good jump by Moran. And Baker was balked by Robson. The referee saw nothing wrong. Alveston. One from Muren for Stapleton. Stewart finally getting a foot to it. It's a real scrap now. Wilkins. White side. Taken in the way again. Played deeper by Wilkins this time. Robson! Well, City look and wonder, so too does Robson. Skimming off Stapleton and Bond, who jumped together. Robson shot blocked. Orbiston. White side. Blocked by City bodies throwing themselves into the path of the shot again. Brought away cleverly by Cross. And the Stretford end urged Manchester United forward again. Here is Cross. Baker. Ranson. And Bailey came and then went back. Stewart! And Cross! Well, Bailey made the initial error in terms of positioning. But he plunged to his left after hesitating as Stewart struck for goal. Cross tried to turn it back. Could so easily have been 3-1. Bailey's fist. Finding Whiteside. Linking up with Koppel. City are back in relative strength. But Koppel was fouled. Free kick quickly taken, while City was still protesting. Out from Caton. Cross will have to turn and chase that himself. Muren prodding it forward. United's free kick. Little touch from Wilkins for Muren. Bond able to let it run behind. Manchester United look to the bench to change their attacking options, and Arnold Muren, short of match practice, comes off. Lou Macari gets a tremendous reception, and he immediately pushes forward alongside Stapleton and Whiteside. Showing a good touch, Kevin Reeves. Seems to specialise in playing well in these games here. Moran showing a trick or two of his own. And he looks up. There are three front men far ahead of him. But Power wasn't giving him time to set himself for the pass. Type of commitment that Manchester City need now to see them through this last 11 minutes. McDonald. Macari. Or Duxbury. And Corrigan, a fist to the rescue again. But Lou Macari with a delightful flick, because he knew Duxbury was in support. One almost tires of saying that Corrigan reacts magnificently. Koppel, back from Duxbury. Now this is Wilkins. for Robson. Drops for Koppel. Now Moran. Stapleton. The pressure finally paying off. Left. Moran doing well to get it across the face of the goal. Stapleton with the killer touch. His second, and Manchester United are level. And move off now in search of the ultimate comeback. Cross, Bailey there first. If not by power. The referee didn't give a free kick. Stapleton. And McDonald settles for a corner. City will now have to call on all their reserves. Manchester United in full cry. And that was so nearly an own goal by Cross. The problems these near post corners cause, because even a defender is likely to embarrass his own goalkeeper, or a player back defending in the case of Cross. Reeves on this occasion. Both the two front men for City now fall back at every opportunity. Baker bundling into the back of Robson. Minutes left. Augustin. City's throw, and they'll want to use up every second that the referee will allow them. Here's McQueen. Back from Moran. Ends in smiles. Bailey using the ball early. Stapleton. Now Whiteside. Well, what a finale that would have brought. It was the long early clearance from Gary Bailey that caught Manchester City on the hop here, and Whiteside battled on to make the opening for himself. Augustin. And now Whiteside. Caton's had to go across and cover. Still Norman Whiteside. And now Koppel. Well, it seemed only that Whiteside on Macari had to apply a touch from a yard out. Whiteside had caused the initial problems. And then it came for Steve Koppel. The shot was passing wide of the far post where Whiteside was still on the ground. Payton gets it forward. Now Moran. Time perhaps for one last throw forward for United. Final whistle. Manchester City came here with a hit-and-run performance, but Frank Stapleton wouldn't let them get away with the prize. Stapleton scoring twice in the second half. This after Dennis Chewett and David Cross had given City a 2-goal lead. But Manchester United's greatest stumbling block again, Joe Corrigan, his 25th Mancunian derby. He's only been on the losing side 6 times. The final score after a splendid game, it's Manchester United 2, Manchester City 2.
So another game to bring the crowds back, except of course that you simply couldn't squeeze another soul onto those Old Trafford terraces today. And what value they all had, with both managers full of praise for the opposition afterwards. And indeed, the Manchester City boss, John Bond, went as far as to retract some of the criticisms he'd made of the United skipper Ray Wilkins. "I've criticised Ray over the years for being too negative," he said. "Today he was an inspiration, and he's not appreciated as much as he should be." All right, coming next, the goals as Stoke face Liverpool, and a really good advert for the second division as Chelsea take on Charlton. And we have the news as well. It's all after the break. Welcome back. Before we move on to our 2 remaining games tonight, let's first of all catch up on the latest news from Jim.
Well, I'm sure we've just seen the sort of derby that Malcolm Allison would really have loved to have been involved in, and now he's intending to bring the same sort of buzz to Middlesbrough, really not the most exciting football club over recent years. Now 55, Malcolm's been appointed Middlesbrough manager at least till the end of the season. He went to Ayrsham for this afternoon's match with Queen's Park Rangers. The crowd of just under 8,000, 2,000 up on the season's average. Malcolm got a warm north-eastern welcome from the fans. Borough moved off the bottom after beating Rangers, second division leaders 2-1. And then Malcolm Allison spoke to David Burton about the task ahead.
The thing that could keep me here is if I'm happy working here and I do a good job here. And then maybe I want to stay and build a really good side.
Because you have found it difficult to put down your roots anywhere in the past few years, haven't you?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, I got sacked at Manchester City. I would like to stay there with that side. But I would like to settle now and really build a good side.
Because Middlesbrough isn't exactly a champagne and Havana cigars town, is it?
If you're winning, anywhere is a champagne town. You know, the excitement, if you can bring excitement to a town and bring a good side, the happiness that it brings to everybody is all that a football coach wants.
Middlesbrough might become a champagne town now, but there was also controversy at Ayrsham, one of several grounds where the rift between managers and referees widened. Rangers manager Terry Venables complained about Borough's equalising penalty, also about an incident which saw homekeeper Jim Platt pull down Tony Seeley outside the area. The Irish international was only booked, and Venables says the law must be clarified. Is a professional foul a sending-off offence or not? And tonight, Venables supported by the West Ham manager John Lyall, who always chooses his words very carefully, after Frank Lampard had been sent off for the first time in 15 years as a pro by referee Les Burden for a foul on Brighton's Michael Robinson. Lyall said the problem is lack of consistency among referees. It could well spoil the game. West Ham were beaten 3-1. In fact, 9 men were ordered off today, including Paul Mariner, the England striker. Well, now more action with Liverpool, third in the table this morning, going to Stoke. They're a really exciting team this season. Liverpool are in yellow. Peter Brackley, your commentator.
Watson jumping, only as far as Whelan. Now Dalglish. Liverpool certainly with plenty of possession. Good return pass too from Whelan. Headed away, and it's gone in from Lawrenson. McElroy been involved in a great deal for Stoke. Didn't quite find his man there, but Thomas! What a magnificent
Great equaliser that by Thomas, 1-1 the result. 4 league games without a win for Liverpool. They dropped to 4th behind Spurs and West Brom. Manchester United's lead is down to a point. Watford stay in the top 6 despite a disappointing goal to straw at home to Coventry. But a fine performance by Tottenham, even without 6 first-team regulars. Spurs still beat Notts County 4-2 at White Hart Lane. Garth Crooks got 2 of those goals. And there's good news from Spurs. Gary Mabbott, he was on target again today. And Ricky Villa, they were both hurt, but they're both expected to play in the Milk Cup tie, and that's at Brighton on Tuesday. But Arsenal's frustrating season continues, a 3-0 defeat for them at Nottingham Forest, while Swansea halted their slump with a great recovery against Southampton at the Vetch. 2 down at one stage, Swansea won 3-2. Bob Latchford, the match winner, with his 8th of the season in the last couple of minutes. But sadly, 7 bookings here, including Phil Bursma, Swansea's assistant manager. Fulham are the new 2nd Division leaders, and that's a fine achievement for them after just getting promotion last season. Fulham beating Burnley 3-1 at Craven Cottage, but they'll be without top scorer Gordon Davis for at least the next fortnight. He's got damaged ankle ligaments. And Fulham's scoring rate, 30 goals in the last 10 matches, puts them above Sheffield Wednesday and QPR, all on 23 points. Wolves are on 21, and their match at Cambridge was rained off.
Thanks, Jim. Our 3rd match tonight is from the 2nd Division. In fact, it's the London derby between Chelsea and Charlton Athletic, and there had been hopes that one famous player would get into the action today, but it was not to be.
Alan Simonsen of Denmark, the former European Footballer of the Year, but still not a Charlton Athletic player. Barcelona, his club, say they want more time to look at the financial aspect of that deal. He's so down today, says the Charlton manager Ken Craggs, he really wanted to play here. And indeed, he's trained hard with the Charlton players this week and has looked sharp, and the players themselves say he looks as though he's ready for the fray. But not today. Charlton optimistically had included him on their team sheet as their number 11, but sadly he'll not be playing. Well, here are the 2 teams. Chelsea are strengthened by the return of Chris Hutchins at fullback. He's recovered from a virus infection, and Clive Walker also returns, but they're still without defender Tony McAndrew, who's got a back injury, and Colin Lee, who's got a troublesome ankle. Charlton, even though without Simonsen, include 2 new men, Jeff Scott, a £40,000 defender from Birmingham City, and Peter O'Sullivan, formerly with Brighton and Fulham, and with Martin Robinson as their substitute, and he's just returned from a loan period with Reading. The referee today is Clive Thomas from Wales, who made an inspection of the pitch at 8:30 this morning after days of heavy rain and passed it fit, but it's clearly going to be a pretty heavy slog for everybody. But it's lovely to see the Chelsea pensioners here. Plenty of medals there. I hope they have a great day. And those medals, I assure you, not for winning the cup, something for more serious business than that.
All right, we pick up the action in the first half with Charlton in the white shorts. Hutchins, the long ball forward again. And a great jump there by Speedy. For a little man, he got up really well and found Walker. Bumstead. And cut out that time by the new boy, Jeff Scott. Hillary turning it in once more. That was Paul Elliott getting it away for another Chelsea throw. Hillary, very active in these opening moments, and a lovely ball there for Gary Locke, turned back by him. Troy couldn't quite get in there. But Locke with a chance to turn it in once more, and the header, and the goal by John Bumstead. And Chelsea go into an early lead. The cross coming in from Gary Locke. Bumstead, the marking was all over the place, and he puts Chelsea into a lead. In fact, there were plenty of goals when these sides met last season. A 2-2 here and a 4-3 to Chelsea at the Valley. And on that occasion at the Valley, John Bumstead scored a magnificent goal. Well, he's put his side into the lead here again today. Now Fillery. Lovely play there by Fillery, and a good ball in for Robson. Pates
Finding Bumstead, back to Robson again. Good play here by Chelsea. Nice one-touch stop, and it's Walker onto that left foot and saved at the second attempt by Nicky Johns when Robson was in there waiting for the slightest error. But it was some lovely play leading up to this moment as Walker hits it with that famous left foot. Johns gathers, then at the second attempt. Troy up to head away. Elliott with a good, powerful header. Troy equally powerful getting it away. Elliott repeats it once more. White. And, oh, look! My goodness, that could have been embarrassing. Francis and Locke between them causing a few flutters amongst Chelsea hearts. A little cushioned header, so Locke thought. But it wasn't easy for Francis to turn, but the ball was held up on the surface a little bit. And he got there before disaster struck. Hillary. Break from the back by Pates. Elliott there. Berry there also, and banging it into touch. Walker's throw. Speedy trying to get clear of that Charlton defence. And a good ball played back there. Locke once again. And Elliott. That was a funny old header. And they haven't got it away yet, but now Berry has. Troy. And again. And now Hales. Now Hales, who usually finishes well, and does right now to make it 1-1. A good break from the back. Hales quickly in pursuit, kept his head well in point of fact. Didn't try to break the net with it, but placed it wide of Francis and made it 1-1. So Derek Hales has done it again. And Charlton now have recovered from that 4th-minute shock when they went behind. Bullivant to O'Sullivan. Ferns going on outside him. Here he is. And a deep cross again towards Hales, who very nearly got in there, although there were 3 Chelsea defenders, including 6 foot 4.5 inches of Mickey Droy. Hales flung himself and has never been afraid to do that where it hurts, but as you saw, didn't quite get the touch. Quite a picture. Bumstead. Pates back for Chillers. Hobson. Chelsea in their programme notes talk about it being a mediocre season for them so far, and they will look for a win here today to improve that situation. Good work here now as Walker gets in the shot, but it's charged down. Pates will have a tremendous shot. Drive there from the Chelsea number 4 after Walker's shot had been turned. Here he is now, homing in on this one, wide of Nicky Johns, and no chance with that. So Chelsea 2, Charlton 1. And Colin Pates gets his first goal of the season, and it could hardly have come in more spectacular fashion. So for Charlton, it's a repeat of the first half, finding themselves a goal down early on and under the whip a little bit. Question is, can they recover in the second half as well as they did in the first? Because there's no doubt they deserved at half-time to go in on level terms. But now they've got another battle. And here's another bit of danger for them as Locke crosses it deep there towards Speedy. Gets it back there. It came off the crossbar. Robson, uncharacteristic for him, who snatches trifles like that to good effect. Well, that was so near to being number 3. A good cross coming in. Speedy at the far side getting up. Berry underneath it in all sorts of trouble. And the ball, in fact, coming off the crossbar. It hit the knee, or the shin rather, there of Robson, and wide it goes. gain. Played for Mehmet, tried to get it in for Hales, comes for Bullivant. Perry needs a good cross, hit a little on the low side, and Chelsea get it away with Bumstead. Foul on Speedy by Scott. Towards Speedy on the far side. That time Elliott was equal to him in the air and bangs that one away with his right boot. As far as Mickey Droy, all bounced on that massive chest. Oh, and a good ball in. And Robson. And number 3. From Mickey Droy, Fillery didn't get a touch to it, and it fell so invitingly there for Brian Robson. And that's his second of the season for Chelsea, the first he got on the opening day that won the game at Cambridge. 3-1 to Chelsea. And it's amazing, so often when he's on television, he seems to score. Remember a goal he got last year when Carlisle were beaten at Fulham? But here's Hales. And in fact, John Neal was saying before the game, I fancy Brian Robson to get one today as well. Well, the man who's scored goals all his career has done it yet again. Lock. Certainly a good, purposeful performance by Chelsea in the second half this. Ball played for Cates, who really got it going so early in this half with that thundering goal. My word! Oh, I thought he was going to have another one then. And it had to be pushed away by Nicky Johns. Must have been moving a bit in the air. My goodness, he hit it well. And Johns tipped it over. So Fillery with Chelsea's corner. Droy's massive figure up at the near post. And Droy trying to get the backward header in, but over the top and a goal kick. And now Harris. O'Sullivan. And easy for Walker. And at the moment, it's not too uncomfortable for Chelsea as a whole. Foul on Fillery by Bullivant. Free kick to Chelsea. Charlton caught napping a little bit there, Robson. And the ball tucked away for the corner by Phil Ferns. Walker. It's a good cross coming in. Elliott getting it away. Not very far. This time Bumstead trying on, and Bullivant turning it away as Johns went plunging towards it for another corner to Chelsea. Pates got out of the way, so Bumstead let it go, and the Charlton defender turned it away for this corner coming up from Clive Walker. Hutchins, and Droy banging it against the crossbar. Good cross this, and Droy always dangerous, but he couldn't beat the bar. Fillery once more. Chelsea looking for this goal in the dying seconds as Fillery crosses it in towards Walker, and it'll be another corner. Again, Ricky Troy is right in there, but it wasn't a particularly good corner. Now, can Walker do better this time? Well, he's put the responsibility to Locke, who's returned it to Walker. Back to Locke again. Big men in the middle crying out for the ball. Droy amongst them, and Johns is down at the post. And the final bit of action in a really entertaining game. Alan Simonson goes off, having seen Charlton beaten with those goals by Bumstead, Pates and Robson, with Hales replying for Charlton Athletic. The Danish international goes away, and we wonder, with all the confusion around him, if ever he will be a Charlton player. Final score, it's Chelsea 3, Charlton Athletic 1.
More of Alan Simonson in a moment, but a very good afternoon for Chelsea, who deserved to win on their second-half performance, and indeed on Monday, manager John Neal plans to add to that side. Joey Jones, the Welsh international from Wrexham, is the man he aims to buy to add a bit of steel, says John. Bad day for Charlton. And what made it worse was the defender Jeff Scott, playing only his second game since his £40,000 transfer from Birmingham. There he is on the right of the picture there, twisted a knee as he fell there and had to be stretchered off. It's ligament trouble, and he's likely to be out of the game for at least 6 weeks. What about the Alan Simonson affair? Will that transfer from Barcelona ever be completed? Charlton chairman Mark Hullier.
Well, I was quite relieved to hear yesterday evening that Barcelona had finally admitted in a press statement that they made that they had finally received the guarantees that we had sent. It seems that there are one or two hitches now. What exactly they are, I don't know. It may be a question of
maybe I can
wording.
help you, because we in fact rang them this afternoon and they say they still have no bank guarantee from Charlton.
Well, if last night they issued a statement saying that they have the guarantees, how can they today say they don't have the guarantees?
I mean, that epitomises that confusion that's been surrounding the deal from the word go, from everybody's point of view, obviously.
Well, there's certainly no confusion on our side. We know exactly what we've done. We have complied with Barcelona as much as possible. In fact, we've been the ones doing making all the phone calls and even sending telexes to them to get some response. I hope that we can sort everything out now for Monday.
The only thing I want to know if I can play, because I want to play, and I want to play very quickly. And I hope that today or tomorrow that I can have the clearance. Are you feeling a little frustrated at not being able to play? Yes, of course, because it is my biggest wish in the moment, and I'm a little frustrated in the moment.
When do you think now you might wear the red shirt of Charlton for the first time? And do you really believe it's going to happen?
Yes, of course. I'm sitting here, and I have told before that that I want to play for Charlton, and I will do it in the very near future.
Have Charlton got cold feet now?
Certainly not. Certainly not. We are fighting this all the way and doing everything that we can. If we can have Simonson in the team for Tuesday, fabulous, because then it's a home debut. But if we are able to contact Barcelona this evening and tomorrow, then I hope that Monday morning we will get the clearance through.
So the Charlton fans, presumably at this moment, are saying, I wonder if he ever will wear a Charlton red shirt. Can you say without any doubt to them now, yes, he will?
I think that you best put that question to the president of Barcelona, actually.
But from your point of view?
From my point of view, yes.
Well, tonight, Mr. Hullier has indeed been on the telephone for an hour, he says, to the vice-chairman of Barcelona. Barcelona have apologised to him for not getting Simonson's clearance through in time for today's game. There are still one or two minor details to be cleared up, and they should be cleared up by Monday. Now the Pools news.
10 score draws, numbers 4, 7, 29, 30, 34, 38, 41, 45, 48 and 55. 3 no scores, 1, 10 and 12. Telephone claims then for 24 points, and dividends tonight, very good.
Well, that's it. Don't forget to put the clocks back an hour tonight. And while we're on that subject, what about a couple of men who always seem to be putting the clock back? They never seem to get any older. And today they gave a lesson to all strikers. You don't have to break the back of the net to score. Derek Hales and 36-year-old Brian Robson on target yet again. From us all, good night.
And now Hales. Now Hales, who usually finishes well and does right now to make it 1-1. Ball in, and Robson, and number 3.